Hey there, you've probably heard this phrase a million times, right? Your past doesn't define your future. It's one of those things people just say. But what if it's more than just a hopeful quote? What if it's, actually true? In this explainer, we're going to dig into the power behind those words and figure out how to really live by them. So let's just start with a really direct question for you. How do you see your own history? Is it this story that you feel stuck rereading over and over again? Or is it a lesson that you've genuinely learned from? Seriously, how you answer that question kind of shapes everything else.
For a lot of us, if we're being honest, it feels more like that first one. Our past experiences, especially the tough ones, they don't feel like a gentle memory. Nah, it's more like a heavy weight we're dragging around.
I mean, think about what an anchor really does. Its whole job is to stop movement, to dig in and keep a ship from drifting. Our past can work in the exact same way. It keeps us safe in these familiar patterns, even when those patterns are the very things stopping us from sailing towards a brand new horizon. But what if we could just flip that whole perspective? What if there was a single thought, one idea, that could completely cut the rope to that anchor? And this is it. This is the big, liberating idea at the heart of everything. And it's not just a nice little sentiment. It's a fundamental rewrite of your own story. Notice the wording here. It doesn't say your past doesn't matter. Of course it matters. It just says it doesn't get to write the ending. This is the crucial shift. A restriction is like a wall. It just stops you. But a foundation, well, that's something you build upon. Both are made from the exact same material, your experiences, but one limits you and the other supports you. This idea helps you see your past as the solid ground you're standing on, not the cage you're trapped inside. Okay, so to really get this, we have to be super clear on what we're talking about. When we say the past, what does that even mean? Now, the most important part of this whole thing is that last little sentence. The past is the context, not the conclusion. It's like the previously on part of your favorite show. It gives you the backstory, it sets the scene, but it absolutely does not decide what happens in the next episode. Looking at it this way, it makes it crystal clear. On the one hand, the past is a library full of lessons. It's a source of data, the context for your story. But what it is not a life sentence. It's not a finished book. It's definitely not the final chapter. You aren't just a character in a story that's already over. You're the author, and this thing is still a work in progress. This all leads to a really, really key distinction, the huge difference between being influenced by your past and being defined by it. See, influence informs you, but definition dictates to you. Influence teaches you something, while definition just limits you. When your past is a guide, it's influencing you. When it's a cage, it's defining you. Being influenced by what you've been through, that's just being wise. But being defined by it, that's being trapped. The goal is to let your history be a guide, not a guard. And this brings us back to another great metaphor. We started with that anchor, right? The heavy weight that holds you still. But if you embrace this new perspective, you can literally transform that anchor into a rudder. A rudder uses the pressure of the water it's in to steer the ship in a whole new direction. Your past can become the very tool you use to navigate right where you want to go. So, how do we actually do this? How do we take the helm and really start steering? Well, it all comes down to a few key actions. It's a pretty simple 3-step process. First, you just have to acknowledge the lesson. Look back at something and see what it taught you, good or bad. Don't ignore it. Second, based on that lesson, you consciously choose what you're going to do now. This is the exact moment you take back control. And third, you do it. You take that action. That's you, right there, writing the next sentence of your own story. Listen, you can't go back and edit the chapters that are already written. That's true. But here's what's just as true. The next page, the next chapter, it's completely and totally blank. And guess who's holding the pen? You are. You're the author, no one else. Which brings us all the way back, full circle, to our main idea. Think of this as a permission slip. It's permission to start fresh, right now, from wherever you are. It's a declaration of your own power to create whatever comes next. Ultimately, the past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. So let this final thought stick with you. Just consider this moment right here, the end of the last chapter. The only question that matters now is, what new story are you going to begin?